Hello, Sheldon Gould here with S9 Custom Lawn Care in Gladstone, Manitoba. Thought I'd give an update. I think the last video I did, I was mentioning that we're moving locations. Well, we're just waiting on the paperwork and the money to go through, and then we'll be moving as soon as we can. So we've started packing things up. The other thing, I am wearing a Saskatchewan Rough Riders shirt. I'm not a Saskatchewan Rough Riders fan. I'm actually a Winnipeg Blue Bombers fan. The only reason that I do have this shirt is because the Humboldt bus crash, they had a thing where they needed you to, or wanted people to wear a green sports jersey in remembrance of them and the kids and all that. So, this was back when we were living in Virden, Manitoba. So the best thing that I could find for a jersey in that town happened to be a Saskatchewan Rough Riders. So that's the only reason I have this shirt. I'm really not a Saskatchewan Rough Riders fan. Like I said, I'm Winnipeg Blue Bombers fan. Also a Winnipeg Jets fan as well. Anyways, besides that, yeah, we're getting things organized here to move to our new place. There's been a few hiccups with the banks and getting, we have the money, but it has to be figured out. Like, the money's coming from different accounts and it has to be collected into one area, and I don't know, I don't really understand it, but we are still going to be moving into Gladstone, into the town of Gladstone. Other than that, I just wanted to do an update because I haven't put anything up lately. Work-wise, we're still working. Even though we're packing things up, we've been busy doing a bunch of tree jobs. We've actually got called in to look after a bunch of downed trees that the storm caused them to go down. That big storm that we got there in October. So now we're getting lots of phone calls to go in and clean up down trees and garbage and stuff like that was caused. Hold on, I gotta shut my heater off. Yeah, we're getting calls to go in and clean up down trees and stuff that was left over from the October snowstorm there. So yesterday we were out at a farmyard north of Gladstone. We did a bunch of cutting trees there and loading them up and hauling them out in the trailer. We were supposed to do one today in town, but she decided to cancel for the time being. And anyways, just because the weather is kind of getting cold and snowy, I think we were down to about minus 20, or it felt like minus 22 degrees Celsius last night. So she didn't want to do that. Just had a message tonight, about half hour ago. Guy wants a bunch of trees and branches hauled out of his yard this Saturday. I've also got to go into town and do a couple of snow removal quotes. One of the school divisions in our area is looking for snow removal for their schools, so we're gonna go put a bid on that. Other than that, it's kind of been slow. We've been dealing with a few problems here. Yes, we are moving, but in the meantime, we have to get our essential utilities, I guess, up and running. Water-wise, we don't have to haul water right at the moment because the water table is so high, so it's keeping our well full. But we've been having problems with sewer and problems with water, groundwater coming into our basement. So we had one of our local sewer guys in here the other day. He was supposed to come about 2 weeks ago, but he couldn't get down our driveway because our driveway is so rutted up and it was soft that he was gonna get his, he's got a bigger vac truck, I guess. It's like a semi. He tried to get down here about 2 weeks ago, and he sunk down to the front frame. so he couldn't get in. But now that we've had some cooler nights and some frost, the ground has froze hard enough. He was able to get in about 3 or 4 days ago. We actually had our sewer system was sucked out, but we also had the pump out that pumps out into the bush was plugged. So we had a plumber come in on, I believe it was Monday, to take a look at things, and he figured the lines were plugged, but he didn't have his air compressor with him that day. So he actually ended up coming back today with his air compressor. He blew out the lines. He says they were slightly plugged, but not bad. So it's looking more like possibly we need a new pump. The pump is pumping. We do have it up and running, but it's not 100%. Well, we got it pumping, and then he went out and checked in the bush. It was spraying out of the injector. So he left, but then the pump wouldn't shut off. Ran for about 3 or 4 hours. So I got thinking, what's going on here? So I ended up pulling the cover off the septic tank. And what had happened is you got the solid side on one side and the liquid side on the other, and the float's supposed to stay on the liquid side. But with that pump being plugged, it couldn't pump it out. So we had excess water on the liquid side, and what happened is the pill switch that turns the pump on and off, instead of leveling out and pumping down, it actually came up the same height as the solid side and actually rose higher, and that switch actually floated and ended up in the solid side. So what we had to do was open up the septic tank today and reach down there with a stick and fish that the pill out of the solid side back into the liquid side, and then it fell down because it had pumped it out. The pump was pumping all day, but the pill was in the wrong side, so it wouldn't shut off. So the solid side is, well, it's totally sucked out, but there was enough water in the solid side that pill floated over there. And of course it's not going to suck from the solid side, so that pill stays up and we keep the pump running. So once we got it over to the liquid side of the septic tank, it dropped down and the pump shut off. So we got that taken care of today. So we got our septic up and running. It's not 100%. Like I said, the pump is worn out. It is pumping, but not as good as it should be. Also, there's a cement septic tank, and the divider between the solid side and the liquid side is slowly deteriorating, so there's chunks of cement actually falling in there, which cause the lines to plug up. So that's why we have to have a plumber in here to blow the lines out, because every once in a while a chunk of cement will get sucked out of the tank into the house to where the sewer pump is, and then it tries to shoot it out through another line about 300 or 400 feet out into a bush where it's supposed to come out on the injector. But when there's a chunk of cement or something in there, it plugs it up. So that's why we had the plumber in today to blow the lines out. The other thing is the driveway, yeah, it's a mess. But now that we've had a fair decent amount of frost, it's pretty much frozen hard, but now we got to deal with all the hard ruts, and we got ruts that are about 12 inches deep, so we're going to have to get a grader in from the RM to level out the driveway so that we can get vehicles in and out. As of right now, I can get in and out in two-wheel drive with my truck. I actually had the trailer out yesterday because we were cutting some trees north of Gladstone that we had to do for a lady, so I had to get the trailer out. I was able to get the trailer out, but you couldn't get a car or anything lower than a decent 4x4 truck in here. So we got to get that fixed. So we'll be making a call to the RM of Gladstone and Westlake, or whatever it's called, and they'll come in with a grader. Now that it is soft or hard, they'll be able to fill in those ruts, hopefully, so that I'll be able to have a smooth surface and I'll be able to plow the snow over the winter. And then, like, we had the grader in here not too long ago, but it was so muddy and the water is pretty much right level with the edges of the road. The ditches are full. So he couldn't really do much. It was muddy. He was making ruts. He did the best he did. He kind of scraped the slush, not slush, but the the loose mud on top. It's a different type of mud here. It's like a black clay, but it's not sticky. It is so saturated with water that it won't pack down. It's basically like floating on top of water. And with the moisture being right there, we were constantly digging the ruts deeper. But now that it's starting to freeze, we don't have that moisture to deal with. Moisture. I got a few friends that don't like that word, so I like to put it in there. Moist. Anyways, yeah, we got the grader in. And he did the best he could do, but now that it's frozen, I think we could get a grader in here. He pushed a bunch of that crap off to the side, so he might be able to bring that back in to the center of the road and level it off and fill the ruts. Then we'll be good to go for the winter. But like I said, we're in the middle of dealing with the financial part of buying a house. As far as I know, we have the house, but the financial part has to go through yet. So we are going to be moving into the town of Gladstone to a new location. It'll be a new location for our house and a new location for both S&N Custom Lawn Care and Sonic Sladen Music Productions. We're going to be located at 49 5th Street in Gladstone, right next to the rink, the community center, the town hall, swimming pool, parks right there, curling rink, the museum. We're right there. We're on a corner lot, big corner lot. I got a double car garage that is insulated. It's wired for heat. It's not heated, but it's got a 220 plug in it. So I'll be able to buy a heater to put in there, and then I won't have to rely on my my Mr. Heater that I've been running here in this shop, which is a diesel heater. I won't be able to, I'll be able to run the electric heat, and I won't have to worry about smoking myself out with fumes, I guess. But for the meantime being here, that's the heater I got. The shop that I'm in is not insulated, and it's got lots of holes in it. So it gets fairly cold in here in the winter. That heater runs fairly steady. So once you get the heater up in the shop, in the new shop there in Gladstone, at our new location, should be pretty good. Be able to set the heat and let that heater run, and then won't have to worry about anything. It'll be on 24/7. Be able to put the skid steer and the lawnmowers inside, which is another big thing. If I end up getting snow contracts, especially with the school division, those jobs need to be done early in the morning and before school starts. So I need my equipment to be reliable and start. Out here, everything's sitting outside half of the time. Even with it plugged in, it doesn't like to start, and I have to put the diesel heater on the skid steer for half an hour to an hour before it'll start half of the time. But being in town, if I get these contracts, I have to be able to go when I need it. So that'll be great once we get in there. But yeah, I just wanted to give an update on our move here to Gladstone, Manitoba. And I wanted to give an update on what we've been doing. Like I said, we've been busy cleaning up down trees that were caused by the early winter storm that we got here in October. Like up to 30 inches of snow and rain and ice and everything else. So there's a whole pile of trees down. So we're getting called in and cleaned up the aftermath after that. But yeah, so that's about all I have to say. It's Sheldon Gould with S&N Custom Lawn Care and Sonic Sladen Music Productions. Right now we're out of Woodside, Manitoba, but with, I believe, November 14th, we take possession of our new place, which will now be in Gladstone, Manitoba. So if you're looking us up, that's where we'll be. So it's Sheldon Gould with S&N Custom Lawn Care out of Gladstone, Manitoba. If you like this video, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, S&N Custom Lawn Care. And if you have any comments, put them in the comments section below. Also, I have 2 pages on Facebook, one for S&N Custom Lawn Care, one for Sonic Sladen Music Productions. I also have 2 groups on Facebook for S&N Custom Lawn Care and one for Sonic Sladen Music Productions. So make sure you subscribe to those as well. And if you're looking myself up, I'm Sheldon Gould under Gladstone, Manitoba. So thanks for watching. It's Sheldon Gould with Sonic Sladen Music Productions and S&N Custom Lawn Care out of Gladstone, Manitoba. Thanks.